Hello, in this video we are going to see simulation of monetary policy when price level increases. In the short run, there are two effects that happen when we increase money supply. First of all, when price level is constant, then the LM curve shifts from here to here. We already proved that. And then the equilibrium pass from here to here. This is the first effect. The second effect that we mentioned before, and we are going to see with more details in this video, is that prices goes up. Then when prices goes up, then the LM curve, the blue line, shifts here to the pink line, and then the equilibrium pass from here to here. This is the second effect, and this is the effect that we are going to see in this video. So when P increases, then we pass from this equilibrium to this equilibrium. Okay, let's get started. In previous videos we saw that when money increases and price level is constant, then we pass from here to here in this graph, and there is a shift of the aggregate demand curve. Now, in the video entitled Difference Between Good Markets and Money Market Intuitively, we saw that this is the shape of the aggregate demand curve, and this is the shape of the aggregate supply curve. So we justify why they have this shape intuitively. In future videos we are going to show it more formally. Now, if price level is constant, in this case it takes the constant value 2, then the aggregate supply, that actually it is a short run aggregate supply, is horizontal because P is constant. Then we pass from this point to this point, so income passes from 400 to 450. But if the aggregate supply has this shape, then the equilibrium passes from here to here, and therefore the increase in income is smaller. Here is 450 and here is 436, because it's not this point, it's this point. And price level goes from 2 to 2.15. So now what we want to see is what happens when level prices increase. So this is what we are going to see in the simulator. Okay, in the simulator we can see that if we increase money supply from 600 to 800, then we have these two effects. First, the LM shift from here to here to the blue line, and then there's a second effect, which is the pink shift that we mentioned before. So now we are going to see this in detail and the propagation in the rest of the graph. So let's start from scratch, and now let's go step by step, and we increase money supply from 600 to 800, and then we will go fast now because we have seen this in previous video. So we go graph after graph until we get the point here. This is what we have seen in the previous video, that if prices are constant, then price is 2, then I pass from here to here. This is what we have seen in previous videos. Now, and this is going to be the case, this would be the case if prices are constant and aggregate supply is horizontal. Now, if aggregate supply is this, and then the price goes from 2 to 2.15. So what happened in this case? Well, let's go on. The first thing that happened is that if prices goes from 2 to 2.15, then we will see that this LM curve will shift from the blue line to the pink line. Why? Because when initially M was 600, 600 divided by 2, 300, that was this intercept. Then when we pass from 600 to 800, we have 800 divided by 2, 400, and then when interest rate was 0, income was 400. So the intercept was this value right here, which is this 400. Now, if P take the value 2.15, then the real money supply is M, which is 800, but now is divided not by 2, but is divided by 2.15. So this division gives us 372. So the intercept of the new LM curve is going to be 372. So if we see here, 372 is the intercept of the new LM curve. And because this is the new LM curve, now the intersection between the new LM curve and the IS curve, the red line, before was 2.5 and now is 3.2. So the new interest rate in equilibrium is 3.2. So now we are going to transfer this 3.2 interest rate in the rest of the graph. So we do that. As the equilibrium now is the intersection between the IS curve, the red line, and the new LM curve, the pink one, and the equilibrium is this 436. We already saw in previous video how analytically you can find this number. It is the equilibrium between the IS and the LM curve. So this is the expression for money demand, real money demand, and then if we want to find the intercept, we have to make interest rate equals 0. So if we do that, we get that the value for L is Y in equilibrium. And what is the value for Y in equilibrium? This value. So this value for 36 has to be the intercept of the new L. So we will have here a parallel shift toward the left. It's going to be the new pink LM curve, and then real money supply will pass from this red vertical line to this pink vertical line. Why? Because this division, the real money supply, now is going to be 372 instead of 400. So we have this shift, we have two shifts. This is what we are going to see here. So we have 372, the shift of the real money supply, and then the real of the real money demand, the pink line here. Okay, now we go to investment. So this is quite straightforward because we just transfer this 3.2, so investment is going to be 68. Now we transfer this new interest rate to the exchange rate, and then we can see graphically that it's going to hit about here, so it's going to take a value between these two values. Okay, so 10.28 here you can pause and you check if it is correct. Now we go here to the goods and services market, and here we have to use, instead of 2.5 that was the previous interest rate in equilibrium, we have to use 3.2. So if you use 3.2, you have minus 32. 250 minus 32 is this, so the new intercept should be 218. Okay, so 218, this is the new intercept, and the new equilibrium is 436, with we already seen that it's not a coincidence that it is exactly this value, because this comes from the equilibrium in both markets. And finally, when P increases, then we don't have a shift of the curve, but we move along the curve. So when we increase price level, then we pass from this point along the aggregate demand curve up to this point. So we are going to see a point about here. Okay, and then this is the result that we finally get in the short run. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.